Hola, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están, chicos? Espero que estén muy bien. Hoy vamos a aprender sobre los pronombres de complemento directo o direct object pronouns, as we call them in English. So let's start looking at them. This can be kind of a challenging topic because it's pretty much backwards from the way we speak in English. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So let's analyze this text here. So I'm talking about las frutas. I'm going to read for you, okay? A Federico le gustan mucho las frutas. Él siempre compra frutas en el mercado y come frutas todos los días. Él come frutas en el desayuno y come frutas como postre en el almuerzo. A veces él pone frutas en una ensalada en la cena. Okay, so here, as I said, I'm talking about las frutas, but you may or may not have noticed it's kind of redundant. I'm repeating las frutas, las frutas, las frutas, las frutas several times. So this is not very effective, time effective. So in English, what we would normally do is instead of saying Federico likes fruits, he always eats fruits, he buys the fruits in the market, he eats the fruits for breakfast, and he eats fruits for dessert, and he puts the fruits in a salad. Instead of saying the fruits, to avoid having to repeat, to save time, we have the pronoun them to replace the fruits. Now, what happens in Spanish is that the word for them could be either feminine or masculine. So if I'm talking about las frutas, the word them is going to be feminine. So we have two words. We have the word las, which is when the noun is feminine, like las frutas, or we have the pronoun los, which also means them, but it's used when we're talking about a masculine noun. So let's say, I don't know, we could say chocolates, los chocolates. Okay, so if I'm talking about los chocolates, if I'm talking about them, the word for los chocolates that would replace them would be los. Okay, so going back to here. So as I said, the way I'm speaking here, it's too repetitive, too redundant. I shouldn't be saying fruits, 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 fruits so many times if I can replace fruits with the word them, which would have to be las because fruits is feminine. So this is the same text, but now replacing frutas with the word them, which is las in this case. I know you have learned in the past that las means the, but in this context, las does not mean the, it means them. So the first sentence, a Federico le gustan mucho las frutas, is the same. I have to state what he likes. So he likes fruits a lot. But now in the second sentence, here where I said he always buys fruits at the market and eats fruits every day. Now fruits can be replaced with them. So I said él siempre las compra, meaning the fruits, he buys them at the market, y las come todos los días, and he eats them every day. So I don't need to say fruits again. Okay, because you already know I'm talking about las frutas. I stated it in the first sentence. So in the next sentence, sentence number 3, again, so instead of saying él come frutas, I could just say él las come. Instead of saying él come frutas, él las come, that means he eats them. He eats them for breakfast and he eats them as dessert, postre, dessert, y las come como postre en el almuerzo, for lunch. And last but not least, the last one, a veces, so sometimes he puts the fruits in a salad for dinner. It's going to be sometimes he puts them in a salad for dinner. So this is why I said it's backwards, because the pronoun is going to go between the subject and the verb. In English, we have the subject, the verb, and the pronoun. He puts them, right? This is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the pronoun, or the direct object pronoun. Direct object pronoun. Here, the direct object pronoun goes between the subject and the verb. So that's why it's kind of backwards. Okay, so literally we're saying he, them, puts instead of he puts them. Okay, so this is an example using the pronoun them in the feminine form las for las frutas. So again, las frutas, the fruits, but las means them here, not the. Sorry. Oh, I need to go back. Okay. Helado de chocolate. So here we're talking about chocolate ice cream. Helado is masculine. If I want to say that I eat ice cream, chocolate ice cream all the time, or somebody in my family or a friend of mine eats chocolate ice cream all the time. But I don't want to keep saying chocolate ice cream, because you already know that I'm talking about helado de chocolate. I can replace chocolate ice cream with the word it in Spanish. Again, we have two words for it depending on the gender. So if it's a masculine noun, it's going to be lo. If it's a feminine noun, it's going to be la. So because helado is masculine, we're going to choose this word, lo. So if I want to say I eat, if I'm talking about eating chocolate ice cream and I want to say I eat it every day, let's say. So I eat it, meaning the chocolate ice cream every day. I could say yo lo como todos los días. So here I'm saying I eat it every day. Now let's say my husband also eats it every day. So I could say él lo come. Now I still have to conjugate my verb according to the subject, so the person that is doing the action. So um, so that's, you don't have, you cannot forget about conjugating your verb. But the lo is still lo because we're talking about the ice cream, el chocolate, el helado de chocolate. So mi esposo o él lo come todos los días también. Let's say every day also, todos los días también. Okay, now let's say my kids eat ice cream or chocolate ice cream every day. So that would be ellos, so they eat it every day as well. Ellos lo, still lo, because I'm still talking about the chocolate ice cream. Ellos lo comen, let's say every day. So todos los días también. Okay. Again, I still have to conjugate my verb according to the subject. So in this case, ellos lo comen. So they eat it every day. Now, if I want to ask you, do you eat it every day? So I could say, ¿y tú lo comes todos los días también? So again, so do you eat it? Comes conjugated to the form of you, of course, right? Lo comes todos los días también? Okay, so let's talk about a feminine noun, la televisión. So to talk about it, we're gonna choose la, not lo, because televisión is feminine. So if I wanna say I watch it all the time. I could say yo la veo todo el tiempo. Okay, yo la veo todo el tiempo. La, because I'm talking about la televisión, feminine noun. And veo from the verb ver is conjugated to the form of yo. So I watch it all the time. But literally, I'm saying I it watch all the time. Okay, if I'm talking about a different subject, let's say my son. Él, again, él la ve, let's say todo el tiempo also. So he watches it all the time. Él la ve todo el tiempo. Let's say the subject now, it's my husband and I, nosotros. Nosotros la vemos todo el tiempo, all the time. So we it watch. So we watch it all the time. Nosotros la vemos todo el tiempo. Okay, so I don't need to keep saying nosotros vemos la televisión. If you already know I'm talking about the TV, I just want to say we watch it. So, nosotros la vemos todo el tiempo. Okay, let's say we're talking about la música metal music, la música metal. And I want to know if you listen to it all the time. So I could say, ¿tú escuchas la música metal todo el tiempo? So tú escuchas música metal todo el tiempo. And if you want to say, yes, I do listen to it all the time, you could say, sí, yo la escucho todo el tiempo. So for you, you conjugated the verb escuchar to the yo form of I, right? Yo la escucho. And then you chose la because you're talking about la música, which is a feminine noun. Tú la escuchas todo el tiempo. Yo no la escucho. Yo no escucho música metal. Yo no la escucho nunca. So I never listen to it. So yo nunca la escucho. Yo nunca la escucho. Okay, let's talk about comida. ¿Qué comen ustedes? Esto es una ensalada, una sopa, una pizza y 2 chocolates. So, ¿tú comes ensaladas frecuentemente? So if I'm going to answer, I could say, sí, yo las como. Sí. So here, las ensaladas is my noun. So now I have to talk about them, the salads. Sí, yo las como, let's say, frecuentemente. Often, frecuentemente. Yo las como frecuentemente. Now, if I ask you about soup, do you eat soup? In my case, I eat soup when I'm cold. So I eat it when I'm cold. So yo la como, the soup, yo la como, I eat it cuando tengo frío. When I'm cold, I like to eat soup. Now, pizza, I eat it on the weekends. So yo la como los fines de semana. And then chocolates, I don't eat them very often. So yo no los como. So, los, talking about them, los chocolates. Yo no los como muy a menudo, so muy a menudo, so very often. Yo los como en ocasiones especiales. Okay. Yo los como, I eat them, yo los como en ocasiones especiales. Okay. ¿Qué beben ustedes? Aquí tengo limonadas, agua, café, chocolate caliente. Las limonadas, yo las bebo los fines de semana, los sábados o los domingos, cuando yo voy a un restaurante. El agua yo la bebo todos los días. El café también lo bebo todas las mañanas. Y los chocolates calientes los bebo de vez en cuando, no muy frecuentemente. Normalmente lo bebo de noche. Cuando tengo frío, yo bebo chocolate caliente. Lo bebo en la noche, cuando hace frío, cuando yo tengo frío. Y las limonadas las bebo los fines de semana cuando voy a un restaurante normalmente. El agua la bebo todos los días y el café todas las mañanas. Okay, so here I have this picture because maybe you guys are familiar with this kind of game that little girls do. So I thought it would help understand when we use direct object pronouns. But in in English and in Spanish, we both do this little game, especially little girls. So we take the daisy and we start taking each petal one at a time, and we do this kind of song or verse. I don't know how you want to say it, but we say loves me not, loves me not, when we're thinking about maybe somebody that we like, right? Um, so that game shows very well how direct object pronouns are used, because here you're thinking about somebody that is doing an action and that action is affecting you. That's when we use direct object pronouns. So when we say loves me or loves me not, we're talking about a he or a she, right? A third person. So the verb loves has to agree with the person, but the pronoun has to agree with who is receiving the action of the verb. So if I say he loves me, he is the subject, loves is the verb, and it agrees with the subject. And then me is the person that is being affected by the action of the verb. Okay, so me is the direct object pronoun. Okay, so we also have that in Spanish. So let's look at some examples. But here I chose to talk about my mom. Okay, so I'm gonna say that she loves me. So ella me quiere. Ella me quiere. So the verb to love is querer. Querer means to love. It also means to want, but if you're talking about a person, it means to love. So ella me quiere. So she loves me. She loves me. And I'm gonna say a few things that let me know that she loves me. So ella me visita a menudo. A menudo. She visits me often. Ella me visita a menudo. So again, the verb visitar is conjugated to the form of ella because that's the subject. So ella me visita. She visits me often. And then ella me llama por teléfono todos los días, let's say. So ella me llama. Llamar means to call, so she calls me. Ella me llama por teléfono todos los días. Okay, now if I love her, I could say also, yo la amo también. So I love her too, so yo la amo también. And then yo la visito también. I visit her, so yo la visito también. And yo la llamo. Oh, sorry, I here I changed up the verb. That's another way of saying to love, but let's keep it uniform. So I'm going to say quiero. Yo la quiero también, yo la visito también, y yo la llamo por teléfono también. Okay? So here, all of my verbs agree with the subject. And then, of course, the pronoun, I changed it from me to la because it's about her. Now, notice here, la does not mean it, it means her, feminine noun. Okay? So let's continue. Now here, let's look at each pronoun. So if it's about me, something that affects me, the pronoun is me in español. So if I want to say, you must call me, you must call me. Must is deber, in the form of you would be debes, right? Conjugated to the form of you must, debes. And then the verb to call is llamar. So debes llamar me, you must call me. If I want to say that your mom loves you, I could say, tu mamá te quiere. She loves you. Ella te quiere. She loves you. So here, this means you, but you when you are receiving the action of the verb. This doesn't mean you, this means your mom. Your mom loves you. Okay, let's say I have a friend that has a really old car, so she needs a new car. And I'm talking about it with her husband, and he's saying, yeah, she needs it. She needs it really bad. So he could say, ella lo necesita. She needs it soon. Ella lo necesita pronto, let's say. Now, why did we choose lo? Because we're talking about el carro, right? So she needs it soon. Ella lo necesita pronto. If I'm saying that my grandparents visit us in the summer. So now it's us. The word for us is nos. They visit us. Us is a pronoun that represents the subject that is receiving the action. So mis abuelos nos visitan todos los veranos, every summer, todos los veranos. So they visit us. Mis abuelos nos visitan todos los veranos. And then let's say my friend, she really likes to eat tacos every day. So I'm gonna say that she eats them every day. Ella los come todos los días. Okay, so me is for me, for I. Te is for you. Lo is for it. Could be feminine or masculine. Nos is for us, and then los is for them. Could be feminine or masculine again. So if it's a feminine noun, lo becomes la. If it's a feminine noun, los becomes las. And lo and la could mean it, but it could also mean him or her. And los and las means them, but it could also mean them for males and females, not just objects like tacos. Okay. Okay, so what happens if I have two verbs? If you have two verbs, you have two options. So let's say I'm gonna say we're gonna eat fried chicken. So we are going, that's vamos, right? Vamos, and then we're going to eat. Vamos a comer pollo frito. And let's say I wanna say we're gonna eat it with rice. So vamos a comerlo con arroz, with rice. That's one way to say we're gonna eat it with rice. Another way could be putting the pronoun at the beginning of the sentence. So lo vamos a comer con arroz. But here I'm saying we're gonna eat it with rice, but in a different way. So we're gonna eat with rice, and the other one is we're gonna eat it with rice. So the pronoun can be attached to the second verb when you have two verbs. This is the first verb, we're going, and the verb to go, and then to eat is the second verb. So we're going to eat it. Notice the second verb is infinitive. It's not conjugated, just the first. So we're going to eat it with rice. And then in the second one, the pronoun was not attached to the second verb. It was put in front of the first verb. So lo vamos a comer con arroz. And we can also do that with the present progressive. So let's say I want to say I'm preparing the salad. Estoy preparando la ensalada. So now I want to say I'm preparing it in the kitchen. So estoy preparándola en la cocina. Okay, so I'm preparing it, the salad, en la cocina. So I have two options again if I have two verbs. So one option is attach it to the second verb. This is the first verb, I am. This is the second verb, preparing. Here I have the ando ending because I'm saying ing. I am preparing it in the kitchen. And then the second option could be la estoy preparando en la cocina. So I'm preparing it in the kitchen. So again, the pronoun can be put in front of the first verb, or you could attach it to the second verb. Okay. Okay, chicos, that's gonna be it for today. I hope this was helpful for you to understand how to use direct object pronouns. If you need any help, of course, please let me know. I'm here for you guys. I'm happy to help. Okay, ciao, ciao.